While Ernie's getting set up here, I will just quickly talk about the Atlanta team. So how many of you have actually watched the show Atlanta on FX? So you know what I'm talking. It's a great show, right? It's really unique. Every episode kind of has its own tone and its own feel. It's fantastically entertaining. And so Ernie Gilbert is the assistant editor on Atlanta. He's worked with Hiro Murai for several years. He got started cutting music videos with Hiro. And Ernie has also cut Baskets, season 1. So for any of you who've watched Baskets with Zach Galifianakis, Ernie was the editor on season 1. Oh, assistant editor, sorry. He also cut something you may have heard of recently, Childish Gambino's This Is America video. Ernie was the editor for that video. It's cut in Premiere Pro. I know, well done. And then he's also directed and cut numerous other music videos for artists like Borns, Portugal the Man, Shawn Mendes. He's done documentary work as well. And then this is Kyle Reiter. And Kyle is one of the editors on the Atlanta show. He's cut season 1 and 2 with his co-editor, Isaac Heggie. Kyle Reiter, as I was saying, is one of the editors for Atlanta seasons 1 and 2. He has also recently cut HBO's show Barry with Bill Hader. He's currently working on a Showtime show that Michelle Gondry and Jim Carrey are involved in. It's called Kidding. He's also cut for Comedy Central, one of my favorite shows, Another Period, he cut. So we got a couple of really talented guys here. The Atlanta team, who we've met and we've talked with several times, they're a really fun group. And we were really interested to hear how they work together. So we thought it would be fun to have Kyle and Ernie talk about their process from dailies all the way through to delivery on the show. So they're going to walk through kind of the logistics of how and where the show is shot, how they get dailies. Ernie will talk through how they set up their editorial workflow in Premiere. Kyle will talk about editing the show, how they work with their VFX provider, doing sound and color turnovers. We'll walk through finishing and delivery, and then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A. So I'm going to unplug myself here, and I will turn it over to Kyle and Ernie.
Cool.
I don't know how to follow the Mindhunter stuff. I feel like we're like a 10-speed riding next to a jet, the way out our workflow.
Yeah, it's definitely different. They have 850 terabytes for this is all of our media
This is our
for
entire,
season 2
season.
online. Let's start with where the footage comes from.
We shoot in Atlanta. We post here. They shoot 2-episode blocks that take 9 days to shoot, so they're shooting 4.5 days per episode. We get dailies next day, and we have about 5-6 days for editor's cuts. And then after they shoot in Atlanta for a few months, they come back and we start working.
Yeah, so they're shooting on a Mira with Kawa rectilinear lenses, just ProRes quad, and we have a kind of a post-PA dailies house situation in Atlanta. They are taking the transcodes from our DIT, which has the look baked in from our DP, Christian. They're taking those transcodes, they're syncing stuff for us, they're prepping files, prepping Premiere projects, sending those via Aspera. We open those up on our end here in LA. We dig into the footage, we pull selects, we make string outs, we mark stuff up for Kyle and Isaac, who are pretty easygoing when it comes to what they need.
And we don't get tons of footage.
No.
They're not doing a lot of setups, they're not doing a lot of takes, so it's pretty easy to manage.
Let's see, let's just for fun, let's look at day 3. So 93 clips on day 3. A lot of single cam. I think the guys shoot with a lot of intention.
Yeah.
So you're not getting B cam for no reason.
Right.
If B cam's there, maybe it's on Steadicam or maybe it's covering the tail end of something.
Yeah, Hero and our DP Christian, because I think because of the limited amount of time that they have to shoot these, they have a very specific plan as far as framing and that, and so it's usually one camera, two if they can cross cover, but yeah, they go in knowing what they're gonna do when they start shooting that day.
Yeah, and then we do a lot with all the footage that comes in is colored. It has a look set on it. And then we're working off a 40 terabyte NAS, so again, kind of smaller, but that has all of our offline media on it. We're cutting from that. We're using that in all of our offline edits and our outputs. And then when it's time to deliver, we relink based on block to the master media and prep for our vendors.
Do you want to talk about how we organize projects?
Yeah, let's talk about how we organize projects. Again, a little bit smaller and a little bit simpler than Mindhunter. Is this what's up there? Yeah, that's what's up there. So basically, I do the thing that Tyler was having to do. Or actually, our guy in Atlanta does that.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy, Greg.
We gotta get that guy dispatched.
So yeah, so scenes come in. We make multicams per setup, per take, and then those are laid out into. Do we do string outs for you on this one? No, we don't.
No.
Nope. Those just kind of live as they are by scene for these guys. They like to cut with all the audio, which I guess is a little bit different, but that way our editors can dig in and, on an ISO, drop something down if maybe there's an errant, like, sometimes
Yeah.
we run mics.
I think first season we worked with mixed tracks and being able to match back in that, and we just found it was just easier. Just give me everything, and I'll just.
Yeah. And then, Premiere just it lets us move pretty fluidly through that. I really enjoy with multicams how easy it is to step into multicams, to tweak things. Our sound mixers and our first ACs are great, but just like every sound mixer and first AC, they do sometimes botch a slate or botch a sound roll, and it's really easy once things are named and organized to kind of dig into and oh, this camera got off, the locket box on set was 3 frames off. So we can just jump into a multicam that's already been made, that's already in a cut sometimes, and slide stuff over. It makes relinking super easy as well. Yeah, we're flying through this.
We don't have a lot of, our VFX are splits, similar to Mindhunter. We don't have nearly as many. I don't think we have 5,000 shots, let alone VFX shots.
No, definitely not.
That's primarily our VFX, our splits. We have phone screens.
Yeah, we do a lot of phone screens. We do a lot of splits. In this episode, we actually had...
Oh, yeah, this
our VFX artist... sorry. Wait. There we
I don't know what's cut. Oh, yeah.
So if you can look at this.
In our final version of this, this episode starts with the character driving a U-Haul truck out of town to go pick up a piano, and they did not. I think there was some miscommunication, and they didn't get a drone shot of a U-Haul truck. So this is something our VFX guy created out of thin air. I don't know. Do you have the?
I have the master. I'll play it. It's more.
So this is about as intense as we get, but this was somebody, he took a 3D model of a U-Haul truck and comped it into the...
Sorry, that's really loud. Where are we at? There's someone here. Here we go.
Right. So this is what it wound up being, is an actual U-Haul, but in our...
Yeah. Right. So that's probably our most advanced.
Yeah, we don't... It's, that was a big deal to get that. That was one shot on one episode.
But yeah, the VFX, our vendor, I'd say he's in-house, even though he's technically not in-house.
Yeah, our VFX guy is just a guy in his house. It's just some maniac.
He's in-house, but at his house.
Yeah, he's just a maniac who will just do any of this stuff.
But basically what I do from an AE standpoint is I use the dynamic link in Premiere to create an After Effects project after I online it and render and replace the footage, so that I've created basically footage for him with handles in Premiere that then reference the After Effects project, kick him those files and the After Effects project. He's able to open it up. It's the exact same thing I'm looking at, he's looking at. It's very quick. Because I have the master media, I don't have to do a pull list. I don't have to go to a Dailies house and then ask for the footage to come back in. It's just in-house. I'm relinked to it. I'm prepping stuff, and I just send it to him via, I think he's on Box.com for his stuff, or Dropbox.
Yeah, I'm just realizing how DIY all of this is, like versus like real TV shows.
We're a real TV show.
Yeah, all right, okay. All right.
And then when the VFX come back in, it's as simple as, because we don't have that many, as cutting into our online sequence the different iterations, and then we're able to sit with here our director or with the editors, watch them down. Oh, we need to like the gun, you know, like say it's a muzzle flash and it's too bright. We can kind of temp that in Premiere, drop the opacity, cut it down. Oh, this looks better. Well, now I can just output an image, show that to our VFX vendor, and he can duplicate that on his end. It's quick.
Yeah.
It feels painless. I think that's
Right.
that's my takeaway. Is
Yeah.
it's just fun, creative. What's on our next slide there?
I can talk about something that's unique to us editing in Premiere, which is the essential sound panel. We do a lot of sound design in the offline. We find that we just want to present it, you know, the way that we want it to sound, and a lot of that stuff winds up going to the mix, and our effects being used in the mix. So that's something that Isaac, the editor, and I spend a lot of time on, and because of the way sound works in Premiere without having to render, if we're showing the director or Donald something, I can make volume changes on the fly without stopping. That's a big time saver without having to write down everything and go back later. So that's, you know, being able to worldize. We don't use score in the show, so being able to have the music sound like it should, like it's in the world of the show, is a big thing for us. So we don't have to. We're not waiting on, you know, mixer sound designers. We do all that. We do our music editing. We do our sound design, and so we're able to do that in Premiere because of the essential sound panel.
And then when it comes to me, I'm able to kick out an AAF that does a mix down, that breaks out to mono each of the sound effects, each of the music tracks that they've done, where it'll bake in, say they threw a reverb or an EQ on it, it'll bake that in, but it'll also deliver that sound file, that bit, without any effect on it. And our sound mixers love to be able to hear like what these guys have done, have spent months working on, but then also have that data, that file native, clean, without anything on it, so that they could maybe, because sometimes they like show you guys like, oh, we reverb this out a little bit.
Yeah,
better.
that'll happen quite a bit. Well, they'll do their version of it, and we'll say, can we go back to what we had baked into it? And a lot of times that'll stay, or they'll be able to replicate it.
Yeah. What's on the next
You want to
slide?
talk about? I can talk more
this is
about.
you.
Yeah, I can talk more about sort of just the process, because, like I said, because it is so quick, and because it's not a fast turnaround between cutting the show and it airing, but it's quick. Our schedule is fast.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, because they shoot so many short days and there's not a lot of stuff, we're able to turn it around pretty quickly. We have Hero there all day, every day, and then Donald is in when he has time. He's busy. But we did 11 episodes this season. In 2.5 months, we finished 11 episodes. 30 minutes.
We cut out of a house here in Hollywood, a post house, and we're all there together. Hero, who directs most of the episodes, is there in the room with us.
Yeah, we have a very, very small post team.
It's a small team, but because everybody's there, it's very easy to just bounce into another room and bounce an idea off somebody.
Right.
We watch the cuts down together. We give feedback. When the VFX come in, it's like we can just all crowd around somebody's computer, look at it together, discuss it, and then kick out notes. And so I don't feel like, on some of the other shows I've worked on, it feels more laggy than that.
Sure, right.
But because we're all in the same space, we're all, it just feels very fluid and very quick.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that helps creatively, because you're not like
Absolutely,
stuck.
yeah, and I think you feel part of a team. You're not just a disparate element. So having our post team is what 7 people, 8 people in a house.
Yeah.
And that's everything. That's
We still have a group chat that's running via text.
what?
It-
Oh yeah. Our iMessage of everyone. Yeah,
Just memes.
yeah. It's basically just memes.
So then
Do you-
once,
yeah. You want
yeah,
to
yeah,
start by finishing?
I'll talk about finishing a little bit. So once we get a picture lock, me and our other assistant editor Cameron relink to our master media. We prep for Formosa, who does our sound mix, and MPC, who does our color. And so those are really quick in Premiere. It's easy once you relink to just we kick out basically a flat ProRes 3.2K file that is then split up at MPC via an EDL. They do an upres to 4K. They handle the UHD aspect of it. And then for sound mix, we're doing AFs out of Premiere, like I said, where everything just kind of, it mixes it down, it splits out to mono, it bakes in our effects, but then also provides clean. When those files come back, we as a group get together and we watch down the check files, we watch down in QC, but Technicolor actually handles our final finishing. They marry picture and sound on their end and do the tape layoff and all the FX deliverables. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I feel like when we get to the Q&A question, if there's something specific.
Is any of this helpful or interesting at all? I mean,
Absolutely. Can you show the example you mentioned, flipping multicam sync? Can you show what that looks like?
Oh yeah. So like, what's a good example? That's not a good example. So like, let's say hypothetically, this shot was like way out of sync. We'll get crazy.
Yeah, right, set.
And action.
So obviously that's like way out of sync. And sometimes a shot will come in, obviously we're at picture lock, this is way down the line, but sometimes a shot will come in and the time code's totally wrong. You know, the locket box, the first AC, somebody messed up, time code's totally wrong. We sync by time code to start. And so I'll be watching down a string out, or I'll be watching it down a daily, I'm like, this is totally wrong. Once you've made the multicams, or at least in my experience back in Avid or Final Cut days, once you made these things, you were kind of stuck in what they were. There's a fluidity with Premiere with multicams. I can step into this multicam here. I can slide, I'll just undo it, but I can slide that back in. That's up there, good. I can slide that back into sync, or say there was, this was an A, B, and C cam, right? And everything's like way out of whack. I can go into the multicam, do all that stuff. Everything's in sync. We're all checked out now. And then that'll now be live wherever that multicam lives in a sequence. I can also, I do this more, I think, on my music video stuff. Say I wanted to add a color effect. I wanted to add a black and white filter to this. Or say A cam was like totally messed up and B cam was good to go. I can step into the multicam, I can add an effect here, and then it'll live out here in the main sequence as well. And so it just adds this ability to like dig into something, fix it, but then it still kind of live in the world that you've already started. You're not so grounded in like, was this set up the perfect way to begin with? You can tweak it. There's some fluidity to it.
I think the pilot of this was cut in Avid.
The pilot was cut in Avid, and I was tasked with converting it to Premiere, which was not fun at the time. What was the?
I believe it was Caitlin. I had worked with our post super on an FX show prior to this called Man Seeking Woman, and that was cut in Premiere. And I'm not sure. You know what? I think that might have been Caitlin's call to keep it. I think she had an easy time with it.
Yeah.
And
at that point, I had done a show called Comedy Bang Bang in IFC in Premiere, and had delivered something like 55 episodes in Premiere. And then hopped on the Atlanta pilot, which was Avid, which I did. And then I moved on to Baskets at that point, which was Premiere. and then it was the same post producer, Caitlin,
Right.
on Baskets.
I guess she's the catalyst. That's what,
Yeah, it must have
that's
been
what it's
Caitlin.
good. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we just found that I think it worked within the budget, within our ability. Like our NAS is provided by a vendor who's actually an editor who rents out NASs, but it's not incredibly expensive. Hardware. We rent all of our own edit bays to the show.
Yeah,
Which
we're
gets
cutting
us-
on our personal IMAX.
Which gets us a little extra kit, as budgets are scale and low. It gets us a nice little bonus, which also means we're not working on 6-year-old Mac Pros with
Right,
nitrous boxes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Cool. From an assistant editor standpoint, I think Avid is pretty flawless if you set it up right. I find Premiere just works better for my brain.
Yeah.
That I like media being able to live in different places and not feel like I'm operating through multiple layers of software that's been upgraded for 15, 20, 30 years. Where it works for my brain. I come from Final Cut in high school and Photoshop, and so it clicks. And then I do a lot of, as an assistant editor, temp VFX. Me and Cameron, the other AE, we do temp VFX. We try things. You guys will have a split. Like, is this doable?
Right.
And we'll take a stab at it. And I find that very easy to do in Premiere with the tracking of masks that they have now and the stabilizing. Just everything just feels very quick. And then all the temp work I do translates to Eric, our VFX vendor. All those masks, everything, because I prep from Premiere directly After Effects.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately we just want the show to look and sound the way that it's going to look and sound. And what I dislike currently is being in a room with producers and saying, well, we'll eventually do this, or this will eventually sound like this. I just want them to see it as best. And I find that doing that in Premiere is the easiest.
So you said that you guys use your own personal machines. Do you guys have sort of a server itself that all the media lives on, or do you guys each individually have your own media and you just have to copy and mirror each drive?
We have a NAS that connects via 10 gig Ethernet to all the different machines.
And it's just in our lunchroom next to our ping pong table. So we've almost destroyed the show a couple of times with intense ping pong games.
So our editors all work. The two editors, they each are assigned a full episode, and then our AEs are each assigned to an editor. And so it's just a dance of, like, as the AEs, we have Dailies projects per day where we org stuff, and then whenever we're done orging, we pass that into an edit project that the editor's working on. So we ran Slack for this season, which is the business messenger service. And so it's just as simple as saying, like, hey, close out that project, I'm gonna drop something in for you. Just a lot of, it's duplicating projects to back up to the cloud, and then being able to step in and using the media browser and pull stuff in. I would duplicate his project, do my work in that duplicate, and then cut it into his project whenever I'm done with it.
Mention anything about working on this in America?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, why don't you tell us about that?
It was shot on film. We cut in Premiere in my apartment with my dog. Same VFX artist, so we same process for basically prepping the couple shots that needed to go out. I relinked to our master scans. I prepped him files, After Effects projects. He kicked stuff back to me. It was a crazy deadline.
What was it? Yeah, what was the turnaround?
They shot on a Monday. I got my scans on Thursday. I had a rough cut Friday. Hero sat with me that weekend. We started VFX Monday. We delivered Thursday. I had to drive it. We had VFX rolling in at 11 a.m. on Thursday. So I physically drove the drive to MPC, to our colorist. He colored the VFX shots. I married picture and sound, and I uploaded to the label from MPC. But if we didn't hit 4 p.m. Thursday, it wouldn't have premiered Saturday on SNL. And if it doesn't premiere, then it doesn't.
Then why are you making anything?
Yeah, forget it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hero's incredibly collaborative, and I'd do anything he works on.
Yeah, working with Hero and Donald is really great, and they're very easy.
They want your opinion, which is
Right.
not
We
common.
don't work long days, you know. We don't. We all, you know, speaking to having a life outside the show, we're really lucky that
No,
on this
we're
show
really
we have.
lucky.
Not only are we all close friends working together, but we're not there all day, so we have plenty of time to go see our families or your dog.
Yeah. We get it. You have a kid. Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Ernie. That was awesome.